Kia ora and welcome to a new video from NZ Pocket Guide. Today I'm going to help you plan the best itinerary ever in New Zealand with a step-by-step process. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so to begin with, the best thing to do is to actually decide when you will be able to travel to New Zealand. So either you have some restricted dates because of your personal commitments, or either you can choose wherever you want. Sorry about that, I'm just fighting a couple of trees. Now, if you can choose to travel to New Zealand whenever you want, the best thing to do is to actually avoid the summer month in New Zealand because the country can get quite crowded and the prices are at their highest. So try to avoid December, January and February. My personal favorite time to travel in New Zealand is the month of April, just because it is autumn and because the prices are starting to go down, but the weather is still quite clement. But our editor-in-chief, Laura, her favorite time to travel to New Zealand is in October. Alright, so once you know when you're going to be traveling around New Zealand, it's quite important to know how long you're going to be able to travel to New Zealand. If you're only able to come to New Zealand for 1 to 2 weeks, it is best to stick to only one island and make the most of it. And then you'll be able to later on come back to New Zealand and do the other island. However, if you are traveling to New Zealand for 3 weeks or more, then you'll be able to indulge and visit both islands. So planning around how long you have in New Zealand is going to help you make your trip even more enjoyable. Next, you'll need to check out the things to do in New Zealand. And I think it's quite important to do well before you start actually putting dots on your itinerary. Checking out all the different things that are available in New Zealand and that you absolutely want to have on your bucket list will help you design your itinerary best by choosing which locations are going to be important to add to your itinerary. Next up, this is going to be the best part of your trip. Once you know what you want to do, then you'll be able to start putting dots on your map and decide what are the places that you're going to be wanting to visit, following all the different activities that you've decided are on your bucket list. This is the best part of the trip planning, as you start adding a lot of dots on your map and your trip start taking shape. Moving on. Then once you already have your own map done, you will want to decide how you're going to be traveling around New Zealand, because that will actually be quite a major factor in having to remove some places which are, for example, inaccessible by bus, or add some places because you do have some extra time and are able to travel either by camper van or by car. So choosing the different method of transportations for your trip is going to be quite important. A lot of people think that traveling around New Zealand can be done simply by planes or by trains, but by doing so you will miss quite a lot of places. Also, you will be able to allow yourself to choose different roads and different ways to go from point A to point B, which will include some amazing sceneries. So this is a really cool and important part of your trip planning. Finally, once all that is done, then you can choose the type of accommodation that you're going to be looking forward to staying at. You can go from a budget accommodation such as hostels, which offers bed dorms as well as private rooms and communal cooking facilities in order to save money on food. But you can also stay in luxury lodge. New Zealand has everything in between when it comes down to accommodations. But if you do not feel like planning your trip in that much in depth, you can head to NZPocketGuidecom, and there we have already pre-made itineraries which are done according to your travel types, such as family travel, luxury travel, honeymoon, or even budget travel, and your length of time in New Zealand. So for example, you'll be able to pick a great 2 weeks family travel around New Zealand, and your itinerary plus accommodation suggestions and activity suggestions will be entirely done for you. There is no need to pay, the website is entirely free, so check it out. Alright, so that's everything that I have for you today. If you want much more travel tips, again, check out NZPocketGuide.com. There is a lot there, and the whole team is joining me in wishing you the best time ever in New Zealand.